Vietnam is celebrating 50 years of unification under communist rule and marking the end of the Vietnam War. Thousands of troops, police and civilians have paraded in Ho Chi Minh, marching towards the Independence Palace in a major display of national pride and unity. Southeast Asia correspondent Bill Birtles was at that parade and he joins us now. So, Bill, what was it like?
Yeah, Ros, quite impressive actually. I've been to one of these things before in China in 2019 and you can imagine the scale of a Chinese military parade. This one obviously a bit smaller, but we saw dozens of groups of troops from across the Vietnamese armed forces, also soldiers from communist friends like China, Cambodia and Laos also marching here. And then after the military parade, you had quite a bright and colourful civilian parade as well. So the mood in the lead up to this over the past few days here in Ho Chi Minh City has been one of great excitement, a lot of national pride, a lot of people sort of wearing the Vietnamese flag, getting photos taken in front of landmarks, and we really saw that on full display this morning here at this parade, Ros.
How do Vietnamese people feel about the war now, Bill?
Well, it's like a celebration of victory 50 years on. There is still a tremendous amount of references to the communist leader Ho Chi Minh, who is absolutely, almost worshipped here as the great figure of modern Vietnam. Also, too, on billboards across the city, the picture that is being used to promote the 50th anniversary events is of a North Vietnamese communist tank busting through the gates of the Independence Palace back in 1975 on this day, 50 years ago. So plenty of references to the past. But for a younger generation, Ros, they've had a prolonged period of peace. There's a bit of an economic boom going on here. Many of them say it's hard to fathom that 5 decades ago this country was war-torn, but they all say they have tremendous respect for the older generation and the hardship that they went through.
And what's Vietnam's current relationship with the US and also with China?
Well, with the US in general, things are pretty good. You had a delegation of Vietnamese politicians just go over to Washington recently to try and negotiate about trade tariffs, because this country is one of the ones most targeted by Donald Trump. He wants to put a 46% tariff on Vietnam because they do make and sell so much stuff to the Americans. But in an interesting sign of how the tensions still linger 50 years on, the New York Times reported that American diplomats here were told by the Donald Trump administration not to attend any of the festivities for this anniversary. By contrast, we've just watched Chinese PLA soldiers march side by side with the Vietnamese for this anniversary. Ros?
Bill, thank you.